Hi everyone, welcome back to the Crafty Author. My name is Anissa, and today we are going to be quilting our Easy Baby quilt that we've been working on in our Easy Baby quilt series. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that, but first I wanted to show you two things that I will be using while quilting this quilt. Number one is I will be using this ditch foot, stitch in a ditch foot, and it has this little piece right here, little black piece that fits right in the seam of the quilt, and it helps it to stay, the stitching to stay with inside that that stitching, so that you're not going off anywhere. So be doing this. And then I will also be using a walking foot. Now, this is a thinner walking foot that I have from my machine. Most walking foots are a little bit fatter, so it doesn't matter. You can use that as well, but you're going to want a walking foot in order to do this. So I have my quilting gloves out, and these just have little grips on them, and they really help to move the quilt around when you need to. Sometimes I wear them, sometimes I don't. It's just a matter of preference, what I'm quilting. But I do find them to be helpful, especially for free motion quilting. I have gone ahead and put my my stitch in the ditch foot on my machine, and all I'm going to do is slide it over along this seam right here. And I'm just going to put that bar right in the center there. And then I'm going to drop my needle down, and I'm going to pull it up, and then I'm going to pull up my bobbin thread from the bottom. This is going to keep it from getting knotted up on the back side. And then I'm just going to pull those tails to the back. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm still lined up here. And then I'm going to put my needle down. And I'm just going to go around the entire quilt, all the way around. And I want to make sure that this part is perfectly flat. I haven't removed any pins because there's no need to at this point. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a couple of stitches. And then I'm going to just lock in a couple of stitches. And then I'm just going to start sewing. I am using a stitch length of 2.4. I recommend using whatever you want to or whatever you're comfortable with. And just continue to push the quilt through. I'm going to put my gloves on real quick. You want to adjust your quilt. You want to make sure you're still staying straight. Okay, now I'm coming up to a corner here. All right. I'm sorry if you can't see. So all I'm going to do is just stitch all the way into this corner, right there in that corner. I should have set that up to automatically pivot. And then I'm going to turn the quilt. And then I'm going to line up my seam again. Oops, right. And I am just going to start stitching again in that ditch. And so that is the first thing that I'm going to do. And then you can see here that I've already stitched right in that ditch. Okay, so I have also decided to go around this yellow border as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my stitch in the ditch foot, and I'm just going to follow along in this seam line here and just stitch down. So we're going to get started. Same thing. Just going to push the needle down, pull up our bobbin thread, and try and grab the bobbin. There we go. And then I'm just going to tuck these threads underneath because I don't want them to be in the way. And we are going to start sewing. Put my needle down. I'm going to do a tacking stitch here. If you don't have that feature on your sewing machine, you can just take a couple of stitches before you start. Just locks the stitches in for you. I am going to sew down this whole row here. I'm just straight stitching. I'm just lining my foot up against this seam here. And I'm just using that as my guide. If you're working on a smaller machine that doesn't have as wide of a throat, you can always roll this part up and push it into that side. It'll make it a lot easier and more manageable. Okay, so we're coming up to the end here. And I'm going to go very slow, and I end right in that ditch that we had sewed in. And now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to take a couple of stitches, like so, and then I'm going to flip the quilt, and I'm going to line up again along that seam line on the opposite side, and I'm just going to sew. And this actually goes fairly quick when you get a rhythm going and you figure out how you want to do this. Okay, now I'm coming to the end again, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to land right there at the end of the ditch. I can go one more. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to do a tacking stitch here. And I'm going to cut my threads. I'm not going to worry about cutting this one right now. And then I'm going to just start on my next row here. Just doing the same thing that I just did over here. I'll do it the opposite direction. So we'll do this one more time. Pull your bobbin up. That's easier to do without gloves on. Just saying. And I kind of missed the mark there, so I'm going to back stitch a little bit. Okay. And then I'm just going to start. So as you can see, I have gone ahead and I've quilted those, and you can see what I'm talking about here, where I just take my foot on either side of the seam and I just use my foot as a guide here, and then I put it on this end and use it as a guide here, and this is the design that I get. So I've gone ahead and done all of it going this way, and now I'm getting ready to do the stitching lines going this way throughout the entire quilt. This is what I wanted to show you, because I know everybody's always interested on what it looks like on the back side. So this is where we did our stitch in the ditch foot on the yellow border with the pink border, and then the new border that we just put on. This is our backing. You can see that it's quilting this part too, as well as this part. So it's looking very nice. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up sewing this. And if you're doing this along with me, do the same thing. All the quilting is done. And to be perfectly honest, it probably took me about an hour and a half to do this. So not too bad, right? All right, so it's all done. You can see, gone ahead and quilted both ways. And I'm going to flip this and show you the back. I honestly think the back side is my favorite. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it really turned out amazing. It's just so cute. I love this. I just love it. And I'm glad we put this on the back. So you can see that it's been quilted. And this has also been quilted in all of that. This is what that Moda, got some dog hair on here, pink grunge fabric looked like. It just turned out so cute. But you can see all the squares as I went around it. I didn't do any lines in the border this time. I just, I have some threads I need to cut, but I just didn't do it this time. Normally I'll put some lines on the thicker side of the border, but I just decided not to. So that is it. The next time that we meet, I will be showing you how to square up this quilt. And that is it. So that's it for me today. That is how you straight line quilt a quilt. It's very simple, and you can do it on any machine, any domestic sewing machine. So give it a try. I think you'll like the results. My hair is freaking out. And yeah, so just give it a try. It's very easy and it's fun. It's fun to do. I really enjoy it just because it goes so fast. Really, really, really fast. Like I said, it took me about an hour and a half to quilt that whole thing. So, all right. So thank you so much for joining me on the Crafty Author today. The links are down below in the description box if you'd like to follow me on social media. Don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe and click that little bell, you'll get notified each time I upload a video. Also, there's a little icon for the Crafty Author down in the right-hand corner of your screen. If you click on that, you can subscribe through there. And that is it for me today. Guys, keep on crafting, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.